Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Joining BJ Rains today is KTVB Sports Director Jay Tust. Check him out on Twitter at KTVB Sports Guy and make sure to check out KTVB.com. Now, here's Jay Tust and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Hey, what's going on, Boise State fans? How you doing? Happy Friday. BJ Rains, Jay Tust with you a little early today. We got some interviews down at Boise State. We got the Mountain West Commissioner, Gloria Navarez, in town. We've got Leon Rice talking as well, so we'll have full coverage of that up on the Bronco Nation News YouTube channel as well as KTVB later today as well. But Jay Tust does join us for his Friday appearance. Jay, you looking dapper today?
Just ready to go, man. We hit the ground running on this Friday.
Yeah, we are. And so appreciate those of you that are watching a little early. If you missed the memo and you're watching us on delay, we apologize for that. But yeah, a lot going on today and wanted to make sure we got our 30 minutes in. But Jay, we're going to talk a little women's basketball today, hear from Gordy Presnell and their win last night. Colin Mitchell's put together a little 2-minute package on softball as well as they get ready to start the season today. So we got a lot of things going on. But you got Boise State finally back in action tomorrow. There was a photo on social media. I don't know if you saw that it had surfaced. There was some group on campus that got to watch practice the other day, yesterday, I guess it was. And there was 2 photos with Marcus Shaver Jr., including one of a team photo where it looked like he was in practice gear and had tennis shoes on and was not in a boot. So no update yet on his availability for tomorrow's game. But I would say based on the random social media photo we saw, potentially good news on Marcus Shaver Jr.
That'd obviously be good news if the Broncos can get him back. They need him. They really do. The funny thing about it is that, I expected at the beginning of the season that Marcus Shaver Jr. would probably be the leading scorer on this team. But Boise State doesn't even really need him to score a ton for them to be much better offensively. He's really good at just running the show. And so getting him back would be a massive lift. This is for us to speculate about, BJ, clearly, but you have to wonder, do you sit him against Wyoming, give him a few more days off before you go on the road to Fort Collins and play Isaiah Stevens and the Colorado State Rams? You really need that one. You think maybe Wyoming's a little depleted. Maybe you can get by without him. But those are some big decisions that the head honcho over at Boise State is obviously going to have to make.
Yeah, I mean, if he's good enough to play, I think you play him. But
obviously,
if it's at all questionable and 3 more days of rest would help, I think that you give him the 3 more days. I mean, nothing against Jeff Linder's squad, but I think that you could win the game without him. But you also can't afford any, quad 4 losses here. So I don't think you sit him just to sit him. But if it is a situation where 3 days would help and you have him at a higher percentage going into the Colorado State game, I would seriously consider sitting him in this game too.
I'm stoked for this weekend, by the way. I mean, you feel the energies. You mentioned softball starts today. Boise State women get a nice win last night. They're up against an undefeated in Mountain West play UNLV team. But obviously the matchup tomorrow with Boise State and Wyoming is super intriguing just for that reason right there. Is Marcus Shaver Jr. back? Is he healthy? And, this is kind of I do kind of view this as a little bit of an interesting game for Boise State just because Wyoming is clearly going in the direction of we got nothing to lose anymore. they've already lost a lot this season, not only games but players. Their 3 Pac-12 transfers were kicked off the team this week. Graham Ike announced within the last week that he's not coming back. He's in a red shirt this season due to his foot injury. So they're going to kind of come into this game with absolutely nothing to lose. I'm not saying they're going to come out and run the veer or something when they're an air raid offense originally, but they got nothing to lose. So they're going to throw probably everything they can at Boise State. I know that they're friends, Leon and Jeff Linder, but at the same time, like, you love to play your friends and you want to get the best of them. And maybe it's too far to go and say that this could be a little bit of a Super Bowl for Wyoming, because it is Super Bowl weekend in the NFL. But I bet you they're going to come and throw the kitchen sink at Boise State tomorrow. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, what do they got to lose?
Yeah, they got a couple guards. Hunter Maldonado just went for 30 plus a game or two ago. I mean, and we know Leon too. You're going to hear that from Leon today. He's going to be all about the they're playing great and they're fighting and but yeah, it is. I would say if it were at Wyoming at this point, I'd say maybe a little more concerned. But the fact that it's here and the fact that Boise State's had a week to simmer on that San Diego State game, I would suspect they come out and play well. I mean, the Ken Pom number is like 14. Do they win by 14? I don't know if I'm quite ready to say that, but
they'll win by 28.
Yeah. I mean, that would be nice, certainly for the computer rankings and things like that. But I'm not overly concerned with a loss. I just think Boise State has too much talent. But I mean, if Marcus Shaver Jr. doesn't play again, that does change things. You're going to see teams start really pressuring and pushing on Jace Whiting when he's bringing the ball up the court, if that is the case. And part of that was the atmosphere, and it just kind of snowballed on them. But obviously they show that is a weakness, which Leon Rice didn't want to talk about to Brady a couple weeks ago. But bringing the ball across half court at times has been a problem for this team. So
we can see it, BJ. Like, I get that Leon, probably one of his best traits as a coach is getting his guys mentally right? Like, he's a very positive thinker. So, I know that he said that it was at the Fresno State game where they eventually got things right in the second half and they figured it out. But that is going to be a little bit of an issue. And BJ, we talked about this on this show a while back, how if they didn't figure it out before San Diego State, it was going to be a really big uphill battle to climb against the Aztecs due to their length, their ability to play defense. And sure enough, it was. So that is something that they have to get figured out, especially in the next couple of weeks before the conference tournament gets here.
Jordan Morales says, great seeing you guys at the game last night. Lady Broncos are rolling. My son Naismith had fun hanging out with Jordan's kids there. They were doing kind of he asked on Saturday if he can go and sit with them again. I said, well, there's going to be a few more people in the crowd on Saturday for the men's game, but we'll see. We will talk women's basketball in a little bit, but while we're on the men, some good news, some bad news with the net rankings. Jay, is you made your pretty graphic and everything for South Dakota State moving up yesterday, and then one day later they're right back into quad 4, which is why I kind of bring it up, but it's not too, it literally changes every day. So that's why I try to usually say like for now or something. I mean, it is kind of how every day it looks going to look good and look bad. And with that said, right now for today, Boise State loses that and gets a quad 4, but all of a sudden they gain a quad 1 because Nevada's up to number 30. So now all of a sudden Boise State has 2 quad 1 wins, but a quad 3 and a quad 4 loss. Charlotte did have a nice win last night on the road at UTEP. So they're up to 102, I believe. So in the best case scenario down the stretch here, Charlotte can get into quad 2. South Dakota State can get into quad 3. That gives you only a quad 3 loss, beyond the first 2 quadrants. And then if you can get some of these top 5 teams and get a couple of wins here that potentially would add a quad 1, win to your resume. If you could get to 3 quad 1 wins and only have a quad 3 loss on your resume, I mean, Boise State will be sitting pretty.
Yeah, and Charlotte's got a massive opportunity coming up this weekend. They go on the road to North Texas, and North Texas is 56 in the net rankings right now. So that's a big opportunity for them. You're right. This thing is going to fluctuate. And like we said previously on the show too, like Boise State has a number of those wins right at the top of like that net ranking, like so close to spilling in. And so we're going to see some fluctuating, some going back and forth. I thought it was interesting, BJ, like going back and looking at last year, Boise State had 5 quad 1 wins, I believe. But I feel like we also need to add that, at least 2, maybe 3 came down at the Mountain West Conference tournament last year. So that's another place where they can pick up some quad 1 victories if they can get on a roll down there. But I agree with you. Like, probably the best way to make their resume look right now is for Charlotte to kind of slip back into that quad 2 range. So you don't have you lose a quad 3-4 loss, and then make sure that North or South Dakota State can jump up into quad 3 too. Then all of a sudden you look at their resume and you're like, they really only have one kind of bad loss. I mean, at least that's the way that the committee will look at it come Selection Sunday. So that would be probably preferable for Boise State. But Texas A&M keeps moving up. They're locked into the low 30s, which is well above where Boise State needs them to be. It'd be interesting if UNLV can find a way to kind of climb a few more spots and give Boise State another quad one victory. But the Broncos have some opportunities coming up too. They wrap up the regular season with 2 quad 1 games versus San Diego State and then at Utah State. So some big-time opportunities coming up for the Broncos' March Madness resume.
Yeah, I say you take advantage in the regular season because, as we saw, once you get down to Vegas, I feel like their bracket was already almost set because they weren't really paying attention much to what Boise State did in the tournament, it seemed like. Because if they were, that means Boise State went in on the bubble or something last year before winning to get to the 8-9 line. So, yeah, I agree with you. They have a lot of opportunities left. They like I said, they just have to avoid the bad loss. You have to avoid Saturday losing to Wyoming. And I hate to say it, but you got to avoid losing to Colorado State next Wednesday, even though that's going to be, there are 2 road games that are left other than Utah State. Colorado State and San Jose State are both going to be tough games. Like the computer won't necessarily say that. The committee won't necessarily see it that way, but playing at Colorado State and then having to go and play at San Jose State, I think are going to be sneaky tough games. And if they can win both of those, I think they're going to be in pretty good spot.
I agree with you. It's all about taking care of business against the teams you're supposed to from here on out. And then I think just finding a way, like probably a New Mexico, San Diego State split is probably all right. But I mean, if you win 2 of those, you're in really, really good spot, I feel like. So we'll see how it plays out. I think, man, BJ, I know that there's a lot of noise about, the Mountain West right now. And is this league, worthy of 4 to 5 bids? I have a tough time thinking that they're going to let 5 teams in the Mountain West Conference into the NCAA tournament. It seems like 3 should almost be a lock. I feel like 4 is the number, and they're deserving of it. And when you look around the country, man, like the Mountain West got 4 teams in last year, right? Their average ranking in the net for a conference was 113. This year, their average ranking is 91. And that just to compare it, they're ahead of the Pac-12, whose average net ranking is 95, and way ahead of the ACC, whose average ranking is 109. And I mentioned again, last year the Mountain West's average net ranking was 113. This year the ACC's is 109. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the Mountain West is deserving of a little bit more credit. It sucks that all their games are late at night, and you have some of these national writers that tout, hey, standalone games and watch this game. And then you look at their top 45 polls and they're like, where are the Mountain West teams, at times this season? So
call out John Rothstein. Come on, man.
Yeah, I don't know. His intensity for college basketball is awesome. I'm just kind of having a little bit of fun there. But
yeah,
it is interesting because you watch some of his stuff on social media and you're like, man, he must believe in the Mountain West. And then you look at some of his rankings and you're like, okay, New Mexico at times has been at 22, and then no other Mountain West team is in the top 45 for him.
Yep.
And so we'll see. Eventually, the good thing about college hoops is that there's a tournament that you get to put it on the floor and see how all this plays out.
Yeah, I wonder what would be more important, what's more important, getting rid of the bad losses or adding the good wins. It's kind of interesting what if you can only pick one thing. But I think definitely getting out of the quad 4 would be huge if you can get South Dakota State up, and then as a bonus, if you can get Charlotte up into the quad 2, I think would both be 2 things to watch here moving forward. So yeah, Charlotte's been having a tough go. Maybe the last night was a sign of things to go. Maybe they can get hot down the stretch here. And South Dakota State's actually won 3 in a row. They lost the 3 spots last night without even playing, but they played tomorrow. So we'll pay attention to that. Bill says, what's the status on Shaver and Smith? We'll find out today when we talk to Leon Rice. I mean, I think Smith will be fine. He played in the last game. Hopefully a week off for him. He's closer to 100%. We mentioned Shaver Jr. We saw some pictures of him practicing on social media. I could see it going both ways, and I could be fine with it both ways, playing him tomorrow or maybe sitting him one more game and letting him be, even healthier for Colorado State. We'll see, as we talked about earlier. Kurt asking about starting early. Yeah, we got get out of here early today because the Commissioner Gloria Nevarez and Leon Rice both talking at 10 o'clock, so we wanted to make sure we could get down there for that. So that's why we started early. You can go back and listen to the beginning if you missed it. Might be a good time to cash in the 2 seed lines they owe us from last year. After Boise State would gladly take a little seed bump this year based on getting felt like they should have been higher than an 8 last year. I think this is what needs to happen. The A10 should just give up their automatic bid to the Mountain West this year since they're not doing as well. I like that, Jordan.
A10's way down, man. They really are.
St. Louis would still win that league.
Oh, that would help Boise State. But you look at top 40 teams in the net rankings, the Mountain West has as many as the ACC and Pac-12 combined. The A10 doesn't have a single team in the top 40 of the net rankings. I don't even know if the ACC or the A10 has a top team in like the top 80 at this moment. They're having a little bit of a down year this year, it seems, as a conference. I want to say real quick, Utah State's resume, that's the one that's kind of intriguing of how the committee is going to interpret this.
0 quad 1 wins.
0-4 in quad 1. They have 2 quad 4 losses, and they're 15-0 in between those 2 quadrants. So, and you look at what's left on their schedule, they have 2 quad 1 opportunities versus Nevada and versus Boise State, both at in Logan. So they're going to be out for blood in those games because it could determine whether they get to play in the NCAA tournament or not potentially. So we'll see how that goes, but it'd be good to get Boise State back on the floor tomorrow. I was thinking about this, BJ, like Boise State this season when they're at their best, and I guess it's the reason why it's important that they have these guys. It just feels like when they're really going on offense, they have Marcus Shaver Jr. and Tyson Degenhart operating in the pick and roll, and then they have Tyson Degenhart and Max Rice kind of feeding off each other, whether it be down low in the post or out on the perimeter. They double Tyson, he kicks it out to Max for open threes, or they pay more attention to Max, and then all of a sudden Tyson gets a one-on-one in the post and he just goes to work where he's been unstoppable. So that's going to be the key, man, because offensively they were on a roll there for quite some time, and now they're coming off their 2nd and 6th lowest scoring outputs of the season at Air Force and at San Diego State. So when this team's rolling, they've been cracking the 70-point mark with pretty regularly, right? They need to get back to that.
Well, should be a big one tomorrow. Fun one, 6 o'clock, Wyoming at Boise State, and we'll have you full coverage with the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show about 4:45. We're starting early, 4:45. We're going to have Gloria Nevarez, the Mountain West Commissioner, joining us live to kick off the show at 4:45 tomorrow. So make sure you tune into that on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. Want to hit on some other topics here in the final 10 minutes, but first want to tell you about Cutwater Canned Cocktails, our studio sponsor. They have more than 30 flavors of pre-mixed premium cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Why worry with all the mixing and everything and making sure you got all the ingredients? They take care of it for you. Pre-mixed, ready to go, delicious in a can. Make sure you pick one up. You can get like 2 for $7 at your local gas station. So go pick them up. Cutwater Spirits. And we appreciate their sponsorship here with Bronco Nation News. Rowpaint.com. They still have that special going, 15% off. That's right, 15% off the interior painting of their home, of your home, if you go to rowpaint.com and use the promo code BNN15. That's right, BNN15 gets you 15% off at rowpaint.com. Lithia Ford of Boise wants your vehicle. That's right, they will buy your used car even if you don't buy from them. Drive on into their showroom and their location there on Fairview Avenue, and they will buy your used vehicle right there on the spot. They'll make you a cash offer. It's a great deal they have going on right now, so make sure you check out lithiafordboise.com and do what the Raines family did as well. Purchase a vehicle from them. We're loving our F-150 and couldn't be happier with the process. So head on into Lithia Ford Boise, and you will not be disappointed. And Idaho Central Credit Union, you won't be disappointed with them as well. I'm so happy that the Raines family made the switch with our banking. We used a previous kind of national bank and had some issues with the mobile app and things. It's just so easy. ICCU.com, get more information. You can sign up, and then once you go in and start your account, you never have to go back into the branch again. It can all be done from your computer, online. You can mobile deposit checks. It's just so easy to transfer money around, business accounts, personal accounts, loans. So all your banking needs, check out Idaho Central Credit Union at ICCU.com. KTBN.com. So we got women's basketball last night, Jay. Broncos, we saw you there. They get their 4th win in a row against New Mexico. They got up big. They made it a little exciting there at the end after having nearly a 20-point lead. But nice performance for the Broncos. 4 in a row. That's now 6 of 8 they've won, and they're kind of getting hot at the right time here. You had 11 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks for Abby Muse. She's now just 4 blocks away from the single-season record, even though she already has the career record. The Broncos now up to 5th place in the Mountain West standings, and there's a lot of jumble in there, so they really could get as high as like 2nd, and a big one on Saturday against undefeated UNLV. But Gordy's got the women rolling right now.
He does. You're right, BJ. They're 8-5 in conference play. They got 3 teams in front of them that are 9-4. Show up early, by the way, Bronco Nation. Go watch the women on Saturday. There's a doubleheader. Boise State plays an undefeated in conference play UNLV squad just a few hours before Boise State, the men's team, hosts Wyoming. You should go watch them because they are playing good basketball right now. Anna Osley was fun to watch last night, man. She had this look in her eye. She was playing with confidence. I was bouncing back and forth between the 4A, 5A district tournaments for the girls over at ICCU Arena, and I didn't get the first half of the Boise State women's game. I caught the second half, got some post as well. But I looked down at the final stat sheet and said Anna was 5 of 14. Man, she must have been 5 of 5 when I was there because it didn't seem like she could miss. She was operating out of the pick and roll, making good decisions. It was fun basketball to watch. And as you said, BJ, it certainly seems like a lot of those ladies are starting to find their roles on the team, how they're comfortable. Abby Muse is kind of that enforcer, that leader. Elodie Lalott can do it all. She's a great passer out of the post, can finish near the bucket. Anna Osley, I just mentioned how well she's playing. Natalie Pasco is won, freshman of the week in the Mountain West a few times. Like, it just seems like they're all really starting to settle in, find their roles, and believe. I know that Colin was there too, so I'm sure that you got the sound or whatever, but listening to Anna Osley after the game last night was just, she was like pure authentic in her reaction. Like, we're good. Like, and we're really starting to believe it. Like, we're good. We can beat a lot of teams in this conference. So it's cool to see a team that's still relatively young start to have that attitude. And boy, are they going to be tested on Saturday against UNLV.
Hey, here's Gordy Presnell after the win.
Won, 4 of your last 5, or is it 5 of your last 6 now?
5 of the last 6.
4 in a row.
Yeah.
So was there a specific moment or something that happened that's kind of sparked this run?
I don't know. I think we're growing up a little bit, and obviously beating San Diego State, who came in here at the time, I think they were 18-4 or something like that, probably gave us some juice and helped us get going. And then going on the road and winning is great. And so a chance to bond also. And I thought tonight, we started off fast, and they're so athletic, and sooner or later their press kind of wears you down. But we had some really big moments. Anna Osley was terrific tonight. Hit critical plays and critical passes, and I'm really excited. And I'm gonna keep rambling because I'm really excited. But anyway, obviously Saturday we played the best mid-major in the country, 22-2, and no one. Fresno played them to 1 point tonight. So looking forward to the chance to play them.
Well, there you go, Jay. I liked your comment too. You asked him if there was any dancing after the game, and he said, no, not tonight. But he goes, if we win on Saturday, there'll be something for sure.
Yeah, gritty wins, not dances, I guess, last night for the Boise State women's basketball team. But yeah, he did say he's going to bust something out. So hopefully the Boise State video crew is on it, just in case it does happen.
Hey, they're not the only team that is, on the women's side that's going right now. We want to give the softball team some love. I quickly want to thank Transportation Compliance Service, transcomservice.com. Check them out if you're looking for a new job. You need a new job? How about the trucking industry? Transcomservice.com can help you every step away with all the permits and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Check them out, transcomservice.com. The blueandorange.store.com as well, or you can go into the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall there. And I bought some new Chiefs gear the other day at the Pro Image right next door to it. So head on in to the blueandorangestore.com. The Blue and Orange Store offering free shipping on any order over $40. Make sure you check it out at the blueandorangestore.com. And Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. They got locations across the Treasure Valley, across the state of Idaho, 13 in Idaho to be exact. Go download their new app. The Ridley's app is in your phone app store. Go download it right now and find a location near you at shopridleys.com. So women's basketball will be in action on Saturday against UNLV. That's at 2 o'clock. You can kick off the day, and then the men's game at 6, as Jay said. But big one against UNLV on Saturday. But our friend Justin Schultz and the softball team starting action today. We had him on the show on Wednesday to preview it. We were out at practice this week. I believe you guys were out there as well at some point. But they're getting going with 2 ranked matchups today. They're going to play against Georgia here at 11:30, and then who's ranked 10th, I believe, in the country. And then later today against UCF down there at UCF, who's ranked 15th. So 2 games for the softball team today. And here's a quick preview from Colin Mitchell.
We're really excited. Like, the day is finally almost here, and we've been preparing. We've been working super hard, grinding it out every single day. Off season, we've just played a ton of scrimmages against each other, and it gets monotonous and gets tiring playing the same people over and over. But like, honestly, it's made us way better, and we're just super excited to go out there and compete against some really good teams and put us in a good spot for conference.
Yeah, we're in a really good spot. Obviously, until you play someone else, you really never know where you're at. But I think with our veteran leadership, I think we're in a really, really good spot. And we were actually just talking about it as a staff. Like, it's go time. It's time to get on the plane and go see us against a different opponent. With the schedule we've put up, I don't want them to necessarily look at wins and losses early on. It's this team's going to be exciting. We've put it together 19 home games, which is the most I think this school's ever had, or in the recent history they've had. So for us, it's like we're getting 19 opportunities for fans to keep seeing what Boise softball is all about. And I'd like to see this continue to grow by 100, 150 fans every single year till we're selling that place out, and we got to figure out a way to put more bleachers out there for them.
We have a really great freshman class. They've adapted so well, and they came in to work hard and just kind of get to know what Bronco softball is all about. And I think we don't even consider them freshmen anymore. They're a part of the team, and that's what we like to see. So they've done a great job so far.
They've all done a good job in their own right. I mean, you're going to probably see Amber some this weekend. You'll see Casey Aguinaga, another pitcher. And then right now I'd say Holly, Sid, and Zoe are all going to see this weekend. They've all put themselves in a really, really good position to help us. And so it's just really about matchups and what's going to help our team have the best chance to win. Honestly, like, not making it to postseason really put a fuel in our fire because a lot of us, that was our potentially last year to play. And for me, I was one of those people, and I chose to come back, and I want to play for those people that didn't get to go, and then just teaching the young girls like really what it feels like. That post conference feeling is just super fun, and so just working really hard to get ourselves back in that spot is exciting.
And again, 11:30 today. Jay, 40 wins last year, tied the program record, and the preseason Mountain West favorites. I know Coach Schultz pretty excited about his team this year.
Yeah, they return a lot. It's kind of a cool story with E. Flores coming back. She was a gal that decided that she wasn't going to take her COVID year. She wanted to just move on to the next chapter of life. And then sometime late in the fall, she's sitting at home and she's like, I missed this. So she found a way to get into an MBA program. She's back playing for the Broncos. She's tough, BJ. She led the league in hit by pitches last year by like a pretty wide margin. So she'll bring some toughness, some experience to the lineup. Looking forward to seeing them get in action. They certainly have, some big bats to replace, none bigger than Kelsey Lawler, who absolutely mashed last season. But it'll be fun to see what Kelsey Hall can do for an encore after a really good showing last season. But excited for him. To talk about their schedule a little bit here, the best way that I can understand this is that the quality of your schedule matters probably more than wins, right? And so as weird as that sounds, like, it's a big opportunity for Boise State to play these two teams today, just to simply get them on their schedule. And if they win, that is a huge bonus. So this is all tailored towards making sure Boise State has a good opportunity to get in the NCAA tournament at the end of the season. And yes, it's happening on, decisions that are happening on February 10th.
Yeah, he said last year when they came in for their first home game, they were like 20-4 or something, and he said that won't be the case this year. We'll probably have a few more losses. I think they play, Jay, like 8 or 9 ranked teams in the preseason. They play Georgia again on Sunday. So, beefing up the schedule and hoping to make that pay off for them here come tournament time. So make sure you follow them today. They're actually on ESPN Plus, so you can watch them on TV today, 11:30 a.m. ESPN Plus against Georgia, and then they play later today against UCF, also on ESPN Plus. Mentioned the women's game, 2 o'clock tomorrow and the men's game at 6 o'clock. So KTVB, they'll have you covered. Jay and Brady will be all about all weekend with highlights and things. We'll have you covered on Bronco Nation News as well. But we're headed down for Gloria Navarez, the Mountain West Commissioner, as well as Leon Rice. And we'll have sound from both of those up on our YouTube channel later today. So, Jay, appreciate it, and we'll see you down there. Thank you to everybody else for checking us out. Have a great rest of your day as well. And we'll talk to you later, and we'll talk to you from the pregame show live, 4:45 tomorrow from Extra Mile Arena, Boise State, Wyoming. This is Bronco Nation News Live, BroncoNationNews.com.